Hello Internet, this is a quick basic guide to e-cigarettes. I'll be using my Infinity mod here. Just as a nice example because I love it. Um, so yeah, the e-cigarette, fantastic alternative to smoking. Beyond that, just really cool technology, great way to enjoy yourself, got good flavors, really fun hobby. It's a neat emerging technology market. I mean, there's just so much, so much to do. Even if you're not a cigarette smoker, you should probably, take it up. Nicotine, it's not all that bad. But yeah, this, as I mentioned, is my Infinity mod from notsigs.com. This is a variable voltage mod. You can see this is a little wheel here. You can kind of roll back and forth to get a range between, I think, 3.2 volts and like 5.6 at the top end, which is very important. But as this is a basic introduction, let me start with the basics. This battery mod, as I've introduced before, is basically just a battery tube. It's anodized aluminum, nice, shiny, pretty, really cool, but it's just a tube that holds batteries and regulates voltage. Does nothing in terms of actually producing vapor, holding juice, anything like that. As you can see, it's got a little connector here into which this screws. This is an atomizer. It's using a 510 connection, which is just a standard size. There's 510, 801, 901, 306, but 510 is the most common and prevalent, and I love it. I don't know, I haven't tried the others, but it works fine for me. This is a little two-part device. On top is the metal drip tip. This is just a little metal, tube, and it's just a nice little heat sink. So because the actual atomizer does get a little hot, and this is nice, got a big hole through which you can actually drip your juice directly onto the atomizer. So what is the atomizer? Let's see. You can't really see, but there's a little coil in there, and you can directly see the coil. Traditionally, there's a little metal bridge over it and a wick of some kind of plastic material that doesn't burn. But I've removed those because I'm direct dripping onto this, which is just preferable. So basically, the atomizer has some holes for air at the bottom. It connects to the battery source, and the coil, the coils have different amounts of resistance, just depending on their design. This is like a 2.8 ohm resistance atomizer, which is good. With variable voltage, you want, higher, just because it does affect what is actually, the eventual output. It's a combination of the voltage of the battery, the atomizer, So here's a quick demonstration. And that was lovely. A nice throaty hit. Actually a little dry. That's probably the worst thing about e-cigarettes there is. Just the fact that, if you get a dry, if you don't have juice on the atomizer, you get a dry hit, which tastes kind of like chemicals. It's not pleasant. Not like chemicals. It's not really, carcinogenic or deadly or anything. It's just not particularly tasty. That was a much bigger hit. It blew it directly at the camera so you couldn't see, but that was a nice fresh hit. So what I did there was I took a little bit of this, which is my RY4 juice, and RY4 is really well known in the vaping community. It's like a bit of tobacco and some caramel and vanilla. There are a bunch of different blends and offerings out there, and it is widely regarded as just one of the most pleasant things to just enjoy every day. I mean, there's amazing variety. I've got caramel macchiato mist, honey, vanilla, blueberry, waffles, green tea, melon, and they're all kind of fun. Some of them I try more than others, but I usually just stick with the RY4. Just in terms of like if I'm driving around, if I'm not, if I just want to have a smoke, if I don't want to sample something. It's really pleasant, quite enjoyable. So basically I just drip a few drops, 3 to be precise, onto the atomizer directly, press the button, the atomizer heats up, plumes of smoke emerge. I mean, it's a really great system, amazing technology. It is really simple, and it can seem really confusing to the uninitiated e-cig, someone interested in e-cigs, but really once you figure everything out, it's quite simple, quite fun. I'd recommend it to anyone. Just smell it because I can usually tell when it's dry. I just clean this out so it is getting dry a little faster. It's not quite as saturated down there. But yeah, that's e-cigs. That's the technology. That's what we're dealing with. My beautiful, lovely Infinity. Buy one of these. It's a nice American company. Just some guy producing these excellent devices. And that's one of my favorite things about the e-cig community right now. Just the fact that it mostly is, well, the technology came from China, and they're producing a ton of cheap plastic stuff that doesn't perform anywhere nearly as well as one of these, handmade battery mods and a good atomizer. But it's just great. All this, homegrown American ingenuity. There are a ton of people with a ton of different devices out there. I chose this because it's, really fits well in the hand. It's fairly small. Some of these get really fat, and I didn't want that. And this also has the variable voltage, which not a lot of devices have right now, and if they do, the main competitors for this are the Pro Vape and the Darwin, which are, I believe, $160 and $230 respectively, just for the unit, no atomizers or anything. And that was just too steep. And this, I love it. It's fantastic. Need to get some cool cartomizers or something, which are just like atomizers, which with an attached reservoir filled with a foam. They have different mediums, so that you just it just keeps it flowing, and you just don't really have to keep dripping. And there's some good ones. Just need to order some in. So that's my brief introduction to the world of e-cigs. Enjoy.